Welcome, everyone. Thank you for being here today. I'm excited to introduce our presentation on the Olmec and Zapotec legacy. Today, we'll explore the fascinating Mesoamerican civilization, focusing on these two influential cultures. We'll look at their history, achievements, and lasting impact. So, let's dive in and discover the rich heritage of these ancient civilizations together. Many advanced civilizations emerged from this region, each contributing their own unique innovations in art, architecture, writing, and governance. It's fascinating to see how these societies developed complex cultures that left a lasting legacy. This region also witnessed the rise of the first complex societies in the Americas over 3,000 years ago. That's a remarkable milestone in human history. When we talk about Mesoamerica, we're referring to a vast area that stretches from central Mexico all the way to northern Honduras. It's a rich and diverse cultural region, really the heartland of many early civilizations. So, when we say Mesoamerica is the cradle of American civilizations, we're highlighting its crucial role in shaping the history and culture of the continent. This area was the birthplace of many innovations that continue to influence us today. The Olmecs had a significant influence on the neighboring communities and later civilizations in the region. Because of their impact, they are often called the mother culture of Mesoamerica. This means they laid the cultural and societal foundations that many later cultures built upon. Around 1200 BC, they began to establish a community in the rainforests of southern Mexico, in what we now know as Veracruz and Tabasco. The Olmecs are recognized as the first known builders of civilization in Mesoamerica, setting the stage for the complex societies that followed. Their innovations and cultural practices really shaped the development of the region, making them a key starting point in understanding Mesoamerican history. Many of these monumental heads were discovered at Olmec sites, and some of them weigh as much as 44 tons. That's incredibly heavy, and it really speaks to the skill and effort that went into creating these sculptures. These heads served as monuments to the power and authority of the Olmec rulers. They weren't just art, they were symbols of leadership and strength. Interestingly, each of these sculptures likely represented specific individuals, possibly important leaders or warriors. These heads can stand up to 5 feet tall and weigh as much as 8 tons, and they're carved with remarkable realism. You can see features like thick lips, a blunt nose, and wide oval eyes, details that give them a very lifelike appearance. Most of what we know about Olmec culture comes from these enormous stone sculptures, known as the colossal heads. They give us a fascinating glimpse into the rulership and social hierarchy of the Olmec civilization. So these sculptures are much more than just art. They're powerful symbols of authority and identity. Let's take a closer look at some of the incredible engineering feats of the Olmec civilization. They transported massive stone monuments over land using rolling logs, which is quite impressive. Once they reached the riverbanks, they moved these stones along waterways to different locations, showcasing their remarkable organizational skills and ingenuity. Now focusing on La Venta, which rose to prominence around 900 BC to the east of San Lorenzo. It was a major center that featured the famous Great Pyramid. This pyramid wasn't just a simple mound. It was about 100 feet high, made of clay and dirt, and it likely served as a royal tomb or a religious center, highlighting its significance in Olmec society. Turning back to San Lorenzo, which was destroyed around 900 BC, we see a site rich with complex architecture. It included earthen mounds, courtyards, pyramids, columns, and altars. One of the most striking features were the colossal stone heads, some weighing up to 44 tons. These heads probably represented Olmec rulers, emphasizing the importance of leadership and power in their culture. These two sites, San Lorenzo and La Venta, are monumental archaeological evidence of the Olmec civilization's sophistication. They demonstrate not only their architectural and artistic achievements, but also their organizational skills and religious life. In summary, San Lorenzo and La Venta are key centers that reveal just how advanced and organized the Olmec civilization was, laying the foundation for many aspects of Mesoamerican culture that followed. Let's explore the spiritual beliefs of the Olmec civilization, starting with the earth and fertility deities. The Olmecs worshipped multiple jaguar gods, which represented not only earth and fertility, but also maize, the essential crop that formed the foundation of their society. These jaguar gods symbolized life, growth, and the abundance provided by nature. Some scholars believe that the jaguar was also linked to a powerful rain god, which was crucial for agriculture in the rainforest. Rain was vital for their crops, and the jaguar's fierce and mysterious nature may have embodied the strength needed to invoke rain and ensure successful harvests. Now, at the heart of Olmec spirituality was the jaguar spirit, their most revered deity. This spirit was often depicted as a half-human, half-jaguar creature in sculptures and carvings, blending human intelligence with the jaguar's power and mystique. It symbolized a divine connection between humans and nature, embodying protection, strength, and spiritual authority. The Olmecs also prayed to a variety of other nature gods, emphasizing their deep connection with the natural world. These deities reflected their understanding that spirituality was intertwined with everyday life and the environment around them. Overall, the Olmec religion centered on the revered jaguar spirit and other nature gods, highlighting their respect for the natural forces that shaped their world. This spiritual framework helped them understand their place in the universe and guided their practices and rituals. Let's test your knowledge about the Olmec civilization with a few practice questions. First, can you name 2 key archaeological sites of the Olmec and explain why they are significant? Think about how these sites help us understand their culture and history. Next, which animal spirit did the Olmecs worship most? Was it the eagle, serpent, jaguar, or monkey? Remember, the jaguar was especially important to them because it symbolized power and the spirit world. Now, fill in the blank. The enormous stone sculptures that reveal details about Olmec culture are called. These sculptures, like the famous colossal heads, give us incredible insights into their artistry and society. Lastly, true or false? The Olmecs were the first known builders of civilization in Mesoamerica. The answer is true. They laid many of the cultural foundations for later civilizations. Keep these questions in mind as they highlight some of the most important aspects of the Olmec civilization and help us connect the dots in understanding their legacy. Let's explore how the Zapotecs are recognized as the America's first city builders. They established impressive urban centers, with Monte Alban standing out as a magnificent example. While we see some influence from the Olmec civilization, the Zapotecs developed their own unique and highly sophisticated culture. This shows their ability to adapt and innovate, creating a civilization that was distinct and advanced. They formed their society in the southwestern region of what is now Mexico, specifically in the modern-day state of Oaxaca. As the Olmec culture declined, the Zapotecs rose to prominence, marking an important moment in the development of complex societies in the Americas. This emergence in Oaxaca underscores their role as pioneers in urban planning and cultural development, connecting directly to our overall theme of early civilization innovation in the New World. Now, one of the most impressive achievements of the Zapotecs was their sophisticated calendar system, which was based on the movement of the sun. This wasn't just about telling time, it demonstrated their advanced understanding of astronomy. They used this calendar to regulate important agricultural cycles, ensuring crops were planted and harvested at the optimal times. Additionally, it helped coordinate religious ceremonies with remarkable precision, showing how deeply their calendar was integrated into daily life and spiritual practices. Moving on, the Zapotecs also developed one of the earliest hieroglyphic writing systems in the Americas. This was a huge step forward, because it allowed them to record their history, religious beliefs, and administrative details in a permanent way. This innovation didn't just serve their own needs, it influenced later civilizations across Mesoamerica, helping to shape the development of writing systems in the region. So, in summary, the Zapotecs left behind a remarkable legacy through their innovations, particularly their sophisticated writing system and their advanced solar calendar. These contributions played a crucial role in shaping Mesoamerican civilization and highlight their impressive scientific and cultural achievements. Let's explore how the Olmec civilization laid the groundwork for future Mesoamerican cultures through knowledge and timekeeping. Their sophisticated writing systems, including hieroglyphics, and their solar calendar systems greatly influenced later civilizations' approaches to recording information and tracking time. These innovations helped shape the way subsequent cultures documented history and organized their societies. Moving on to social structures, the Olmec and other early civilizations developed clear class distinctions that became characteristic features of Mesoamerican society. These class structures contributed to the development of planned ceremonial centers, which were not just religious hubs, but also centers of political and social power. Ritual ball games and the prominence of elite rulers further reinforced social hierarchies and cultural identity. In terms of urban design and architecture, these civilizations displayed remarkable planning and aesthetic sensibility. The iconic ceremonial centers and monumental sculptures reflected their artistic style, which emphasized grandeur and symbolic motifs. Olmec art, especially their jaguar imagery, appears frequently in pottery and sculpture, influencing the artistic traditions of later peoples. Finally, the artistic influence of the Olmec and Zapotec civilizations is evident across Mesoamerica. Their distinct styles and motifs, like the jaguar, became defining features of later cultures. These early civilizations established cultural and technological foundations that persisted for thousands of years, shaping the artistic and cultural landscape of the region. In summary, the Olmec and Zapotec civilizations were true pioneers, leaving a lasting legacy that influenced every aspect of Mesoamerican development, from writing and social organization to art and architecture. Their innovations and artistic styles continue to resonate in the cultural identity of the region to this day. Let's take a moment to reflect on how the Olmec and Zapotec civilizations have influenced later Mesoamerican cultures. The Olmecs, often considered the mother culture of the region, introduced key concepts like ritual ball games, which continued to be important in Mesoamerican societies. They also developed a hieroglyphic writing system and used jaguar motifs in their art, both of which had a lasting impact. Additionally, the Olmecs planned ceremonial centers that served as religious and political hubs. Moving on, consider the question about contributions that are not from the Olmecs. Think about what they did and what might have come later or from other cultures. For example, were they responsible for certain developments like ritual ball games? Yes. Did they create a hieroglyphic writing system? Yes. Did they incorporate jaguar motifs in art? Absolutely. But did they plan ceremonial centers? That was indeed one of their key contributions, so that wouldn't be the correct answer here. Next, let's look at the Zapotecs. They developed a sophisticated calendar system based on the movement of the sun or perhaps other celestial bodies, which was essential for their agriculture and religious practices. This highlights how advanced their understanding of astronomy was and how it influenced their society. And finally, the true or false question. The Zapotecs are noted as the America's first city builders. That's true. They established some of the earliest known cities in the region, marking a significant milestone in Mesoamerican history. So, as we wrap up, I want you to think about how these early cultures laid the groundwork for later civilizations, shaping the history and culture of the entire region. Their innovations in art, writing, city planning, and astronomy are lasting legacies that continue to influence us today. The Olmec and Zapotec civilizations really set the stage for what was to come in Mesoamerican history. They laid the cultural and technological groundwork that the later great empires would build upon. When we look at their innovations in art, architecture, writing, and governance, we see how influential they were. Many of these ideas and practices still fascinate and inspire us today. This connection reminds us that understanding these earliest civilizations helps us appreciate the rich traditions and advanced societies that followed. Ultimately, their legacy is a vital foundation for the rise of future Mesoamerican empires, shaping the course of history in the region.